so you know. All right, welcome, Steph. You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
All right. I'm recording you, so that's for sure because I use the audio and the video might we might use in the future if you want. So,
Okay, yeah, cool.
but it looks good on the screen. So,
I've got a
yeah,
decent camera, so it should look all right. Yeah,
yeah. Okay, you can see me well. Everything's okay.
yeah,
You see
yeah.
something in the background you want to buy?
Everything.
Everything. Fuck, man. All right, man. Steph, crazy man. Welcome to the Stinky Tofu show on Prospect Radio.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's crazy. I just started the show, and yeah, suddenly this is show number 5, and yeah, here we go, man. What's up, man? How long time no see? It's crazy, man.
Oh no, yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw you. Like, oh, Prospect maybe. I
I don't
don't know.
know. We always see like how you doing, and the party is busy. You know that it's crazy.
Yeah, it's difficult sometimes to have a good chat, isn't it, in the clubs?
Totally,
Yeah,
man.
that's why we're here today. Then we can have a good talk.
Yeah, man. So yeah, it's been a long. We know well, man. In the scene, man. We see this. Yeah, we know each other for a long, long time, actually.
Yeah. Don't ask me what year we met because I
No,
can't
I don't
remember.
know. I think we saw a couple of times in the UK parties. I think
Yeah. Did
with from Andy, right? Andy
Yeah,
Bowler.
the North parties.
Yeah,
I think you and Richard came over and played quite a lot.
yeah. No, I'm not Richard more than me, but I played a couple of times, and yeah, I think the big one was the Relentless one. I think
Yeah, that was
like 50 DJs on the flyer.
2010, I think they were happening, those parties.
Uh,
Yeah, they were good. They were good.
it's crazy to see on the screen, man. It's funny. So yeah. Okay, man. Yeah, you just came back from soccer, right? Your son was playing football.
Yeah. I was on dad duties today, so my boy is in a football team, and he has training every Wednesday evening. So I took him there today, and yeah, we just got back, had some food, and grabbed a beer, and now I'm gonna have a chat with you.
Crazy, man. So mom's is not working today.
No, she was working as well. We're both working from home through this whole, COVID
All right.
situation, and yeah, it's kind of crazy busy times at the moment with with fitting the job around the school as well because we've got 2 boys, so we had to do the homeschooling with them. So yeah, that combined with my job and trying to fit music around that as well is just like full. It's been full on. Like,
Yeah, I know everything about it, man. I have just
yeah,
one. I have one son, but he's 15, and yeah, he can. Yeah, we don't have to help with the homework. That's a big plus. So
yeah.
lucky. Well, that's good, man. But you're yeah. Just besides the DJ work, of course, are people yeah, man, interested to know more about Steph, that machine than his music, So it's maybe interesting. So, but you're born in London or not?
I was born in a place called Northampton, which is kind of Midlands-ish. It's just north of London, about an hour north of London. And I grew up in a town called Bedford, which is again the same kind of area. And yeah, lived there till I left for university, and I went to live in London for when I was at university, which was 95. I think, yeah, 95. I went down to London, and
Good era of rave, you know that.
yeah. I mean, I was into the rave scene before then anyway, because where I grew up in Bedford was very close to probably the most famous rave venue in the UK called Sanctuary, which was in a city called Milton Keynes. That was like
Interesting.
20 minutes from my house, so that was almost like my local club was this big warehouse where all big raves were. So early 90s I started going to the parties there, and that's how I kind of got into the whole scene.
Yeah, that's interesting because I saw a couple of times ago on Facebook, I think you have a picture or something, maybe in our chats with Garrett and other guys, you have a picture like you look like a punk, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I used to have interesting haircuts
Yeah, but
when I was at university. That was when I was down in London. I used to do like blue spikes and yeah, just experimenting, like crazy and young, do what you want really.
All right. So the Death Machine we know is a different Death Machine that back then,
Yeah,
right?
I'm way more refined now and sensible than I was in the 90s, believe me.
All right. So everything like sex, drugs, and rock and roll was really up to you, right?
Yeah, pretty much. It was a fun time. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But in 1995, so in London area. So is that where you, what is your first? Yeah, you start. I think it doesn't start with Gabba, right? You start with drum and bass, jungle, I think, rave.
Yeah.
Or
Well, in the early 90s, drum and bass and jungle kind of didn't exist yet. It was all just hardcore rave music. And yeah, like around 94 was when I probably heard my first, what you would call techno set. And that was just mind blowing for me, hearing something so much more powerful than anything else I'd ever heard before.
the kick drums.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, fuck, this is it for me. And like ever since then, I was just like, you know,
So,
nothing compared to it.
but those parties are called SWAT parties, or
In London, yeah, there were lots of squat parties, but I'm talking about still back in Milton Keynes, the big rave venues that I went to. And yeah, in London there was lots and lots of techno going on. Kind of what by the time I arrived down there, and yeah, I went to squat parties and you know, normal clubs. I was based in South London, so there was clubs in Brixton that I used to go to quite a lot. But then we also used to go up to places like Hackney. There was lots of squat parties that we used to go to.
Hackney is famous now, right? For other things.
Yeah, that was a lot of things happened there.
Still now.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And,
Okay, but who was the DJ you were looking up to at that time? Because there has to be a DJ playing your music, you know.
yeah, well, if we're talking like 94 onwards, then the DJs that I would listen to or see at the raves were people like DJ Producer. Obviously, you know,
Oh, Lucas.
we both know him well.
Oh man.
So yeah, he was one of the first people that was playing this crazy futuristic music that I loved.
Really, because this very interesting was when this, yeah, of course, when this podcast will be released. I think the producer podcast already done, and yeah, it's funny because I asked more or less it's not the same questions, but yeah, Luke revealed how he started, and it's really awesome that you mentioned Luke again, you know.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
but the guy Hellfish doesn't exist in that area.
he didn't play as much in the parties that I went to, but when you, as I did, when you knew the tracks, you know, a lot of stuff that was coming out on Death Chant was legendary back then, and was, you know, hugely influential in the scene's development or the music's development. When yeah, he was kind of more a producer from that in that sense of the word, whereas Luke was more prevalent in a lot of the parties that I was going to.
All right, awesome, man. But how do you know? Okay, of course, I know your history. You start with Corrupt, Brute, Sensory Violation. So how do you hook up with Simon, those guys, and Traffic, and Matt?
Yeah, well, I was down in London at university, and like a lot of the record shops that I was going to in London, they didn't stock anything that I was interested in. They would just had, you know, happy hardcore, jungle, and things like that. And I was looking obviously for Gabba. I was looking for industrial hardcore. So one of the record shops that I went to, I asked them, I said, look, do you know anyone who sells this kind of stuff? And I was playing them tapes and things like that. And they said, yeah, why don't you try this guy, Simon Underground? He lives in Hartford. Give him a call. We've got his number.
Right.
So, yeah, I called Simon up. This must have been 96 or something, maybe. Called him up and had a really good chat with him. And he said, yeah, come up. You know, I'll make you a cup of tea and you can flick through some records and we'll have a chat. And I got the train up there and, yeah, spent the whole day like meeting Simon and chatting to him about music. And that was kind of how I started the connection with the music, really, in that sense.
Awesome. Did you ever told this to anyone in a podcast or interview?
No, don't think so. I've told friends,
amazing.
obviously, but yeah, that's kind of how me and Simon met, and that's how I got into buying vinyl. And eventually, you know, after a year or so, it led me into buying decks, and then yeah, started.
Amazing, man. Honestly, like, yeah, I tell the many podcasts, you know, tonight I'm gonna do a podcast with Steph. Of course, I know you for parties, but yeah, I didn't prepare any shit. People think might be, but the thing is like, there's a lot of questions. You and Simon on pictures, sometimes you look like brothers, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's it's a bit of a running joke with everyone, really, and there's been quite a few parties where we've been mistaken for each other.
Okay, so you was playing Simon Underground set, and he was playing Deathmachine set.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it's it's
All right.
many a time that people have come up to me, all right, Simon, how you doing? And I'm like,
Oh
no,
my
not
God.
Simon.
That's amazing. Maybe people, or maybe worse, maybe you play shit set and they say, and they think, oh, you play shit set, and then say, oh, Simon's very shit.
Yeah.
But actually, he wasn't playing anyway. So yeah, awesome. So man, that's great. In 1996, because I went around that note. I was around 2000. I stayed a couple of days at Simon's house.
Yeah.
And I always remember when he say, take a cup of tea. His kind of voice, you know, this is similar. Yeah. He's so diehard. So I try and get him on the Stinky Tofu show, man. If to reveal some stuff.
I mean, he'll have some amazing stories.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's a collector, man.
Yeah, so, he's got an amazing collection of music. Yeah.
So, but the corrupt stuff, the South London, right?
So when I was down in London, I met Traffic, and through him I met Matt Green, and yeah, just kind of hung out with them. And Matt had just started Corrupt at the time, and I was just starting to learn to make music. So Traffic was actually teaching me how to make music, and I think he upgraded his Amiga, and I bought his old Amiga off him. So
really?
my first production PC was an old Traffic Amiga.
Awesome. He get all the mods for you already? Maybe he forgot the mods, you know, so he just...
there wasn't any unreleased tracks on there or anything. So, but yeah, so I had his Amiga, and he showed me how to use Octamed, and I started playing around, and then, hanging out with Matt Green, played him a few bits that I was working on, and he, picked up on a few things, and he said, I want to release these on Corrupt. Awesome. And initially it was one track on Corrupt 5, which was the first release. And then, did some more EPs for him later on. And that's how it all started off from a production point of view.
Yeah, but because Matt actually, months ago, Matt sent me a message. He was doing like German bassline music. You know that?
Yeah, he sent me some stuff that he writes every now and again as well. He's still doing things in the background. And
the funny thing was, I was calling him years ago. I called him Mr. Playboy Green. And he was always laughing about that. You know him?
Yeah.
He said, okay, oh man, nobody told me this name. I forgot this name for years, man. And we were always chatting on chat with him, you know. Yeah, but it's a funny story, because I think a lot of people don't know Corrupt is one of the originators, right? In that kind of industrial hardcore stuff for the UK, man.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Disturbance, which was Traffic's label, and Corrupt were, along with, Death Chant, Rebel Scum, they were for me the main labels that were really pushing the kind of UK industrial breakbeat kind of sound. And some of the tracks on there were groundbreaking. They really were, and I still love playing them today.
And this is I think it's Corrupt 4. I think you know that one, Corrupt 4.
Yeah.
And that track, I think, was this from Traffic?
Yeah.
I know which track.
Yeah.
That aim and breakbeat is so good, man.
Incredible, yeah. And considering he wrote that 20 years ago now, or even a bit older than that, it's an amazing piece of music.
I think like the third or the fifth generation people listen, they even don't know. So I reckon everybody listening is go back and dig some old Corrupt stuff, Disturbance, old Rebel Scum. But of course, Luke told me Rebel Scum will be back, so. That's crazy.
Well, I hope so, yeah, because again, for me, that was quite influential in my kind of career, because that was kind of the next step I took after releasing on Corrupt. Obviously, trying to improve my sound and develop my sound, and gave a track to Luke, and I can't remember if he sent me an email or called me up or something, and he said, I've listened to your track in the car on the way to a gig, and I want to sign it to Rebel Scum. And again, for me, that was another big step in terms of like progression. So that was really, really cool to kind of have his support then from that point.
Oh, totally amazing, man. But the funny thing is, like, because Corrupt started in 2000, right? Around 2000.
I think, I can't remember exactly again, maybe 98 or 99, yeah.
But how do you, if people say to you, okay, Steph, Deathmachine, what kind of music you actually play? Tell me in 3 words.
In 3 words, what? As in,
Or 1 word.
well,
House,
future.
techno.
Oh, well, now.
No, just now. People don't know. Maybe a big promoter comes. Okay, I want to book you, man. What kind of style of music you play? Come on.
Well, hardcore industrial. This isn't 3 words. Hardcore industrial with drum and bass influences.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Because I'm always when people. I'm also like when people ask me, well, I can play a different style. I love really Speedy Cortera. That's what I'm starting with. But the last years I really like Deathmachine style. I like them all, And
Yeah.
I call it hardcore techno, funk, whatever, because it's hard to give it a name actually.
Well,
Sometimes.
that's it. I mean, that's another thing why I love the music, because it is so diverse, and there's stuff that I love at like 140, and there's stuff I love at 240, and everything in between. So that's what makes it so interesting for me.
But that's very interesting because I've followed you for a long time, and I know you're really skilled at the vinyl DJ. Of course, about CDJ era, you cannot say people's a really good CDJ DJ. That's all the story. But vinyls, man, you play also the old French stuff, Epithet, Dead End, all this kind of obscure labels, man.
Yeah, I mean, again, that was kind of what I discovered through all my days that I used to spend up at Simon's, and yeah, I loved all the French stuff, and obviously still do the old French industrial sound. And yeah, you mentioned Epithet. That label for me was very influential in terms of inspiration for kind of like the aesthetics of what the music should be: futuristic, dark, technical, but still experimental, all that kind of thing. And again, Dead End Records, Beast Records was another one from France. Yeah, and yeah, in the 90s, some of those tunes were just incredible. Again,
there's pretty a lot.
Yeah.
And even though did you ever release on the Epileptic?
No.
No, only after Matt Green and Traffic, I think.
Yeah. I think I did send some demos to Epileptic. I think it might have been the Corrupt 10 tracks.
All right.
They didn't like them, and then Matt was like, "Oh, I'll release them on Corrupt," so they came out.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe your sound is, if I know your old track to the news. You made some, you growed in the style, man. But at the end, like recently, I like the end. What End of World you did for Prospect?
World's End.
World's End, yeah.
World's End, yeah.
But more or less the same. That's really the futuristic style you made.
Yeah, I mean that's. I mean, as we both know, as you kind of produce through the years, you get more experience. You can find it easier to get out of you what you want to get out, and what you make better results effectively. And I think I'm just kind of honing where I want to go with the music, and now it's getting to the point where you can actually have the skill to do it.
Yeah, it's very easy now, man.
Because you know that you can actually make things that you want to make, and it's it's good to be in that position. And yeah, World's End was a track that it's kind of a little special track for me, because Sam, my little boy, actually helped me with it.
Really? All right. This is what
we
revealed.
A few years ago, when I started working on it, he started taking an interest in music. So I spent a few afternoons with him, like showing him first of all the keyboard and the notes, and then how a synth works very basically with you start with a this is a wave, and then you can modulate it and change the sound. Awesome. And just teaching him. And yeah, kind of over a few days we ended up with this sound, which is the sound that's in the final track. And he helped me play the melody as well, and we recorded that. So he's actually really helped me to make that track. So
how old is he?
He's 9 now, but he must have been 6 or 7 when I was making the tune.
That's awesome. And he will be DJing like Daddy?
I don't know, actually. He likes the music. I don't know whether he wants to be a DJ or not. Haven't asked him, but.
Did you saw Bruce's podcast on Prospect?
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah.
I never thought he was DJing, but he was same like you. When you do music, your kids will listen to you what you're doing, but they don't know what you're doing actually. But they still stay behind them, And maybe when they're 15, man, watch your decks, man.
Yeah, I will.
Gonna take you over, man, and kick your ass. That's good, man.
Yeah.
Crazy, awesome. Okay, the other question. Do you have other kind of hobbies? And maybe stupid question, but not only the music, but people. Yeah. What do you do more? Do you like games or watching television?
No. Well, I mean, I work full time, so every other possible moment I have to
Music.
do music
Yeah,
is
that's
spent
true,
on
man.
music, and it
You
has
made
been
it.
for over a decade now.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So in that respect, I'm kind of not very interesting because I don't really do anything else.
All right.
But yeah, I love the music so much, and I still love producing so much, and I still have so much I want to do.
All right.
That's all I fill my time with.
But you don't have another alias, right? You don't strictly Deathmachine, or you do
Yeah,
some.
not now. I mean, in the past, again, talking about Matt Green, me and him, you probably know this. We did a bit of dubstep together, and we actually released 10 releases on a Corrupt sub label
Yes.
that we called Bass Corrupt.
I remember that.
Yeah. So that was good in two respects, really, because I don't know, maybe I was a bit disillusioned with hardcore. It was kind of there was a bit of a lull in the UK, and things didn't seem to be going that well. And I think maybe I just needed something different to focus on. So that was when dubstep came along, and it was just really fresh and interesting to me. So I thought I'd give it a try. Matt liked it as well, so we had a chat and decided to do some things on his sub label, or create the sub label. And yeah, I think it was a fun thing to do, and I think it really actually helped my production. Doing a completely different style that was so different to hardcore, you had to kind of approach things in a different way, and it taught me quite a lot.
Cool, man. But you're not doing dubstep anymore, right?
No.
But you use the technique to make this drum and bass, right?
Yeah. I think I like to think it helped my production, so it was worth it.
Trust me, your production level is really, really top tier, man.
Yeah,
I have to say, like,
there's always room for improvement. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's cool, man. You just put a lot of time in the music, man. But I don't see much here on social media, right? That's correct. You're not really super active on Facebook.
No. Yeah, I'm not really one for spending hours on social media and posting things that aren't necessarily that important, or massively private things. I prefer just to kind of use social media as a musical
fair enough, man.
Release. Yeah. If I've got a release, I'll say, yeah, there's a new release, and that's kind of it, really. Again, it's a time thing. I don't necessarily have the time to sit there for hours on social media.
And your kids, are they on the social media already?
No, we've managed to kind of keep them away from that for the time being, but
really,
they're getting older, so it's going to happen.
Yeah, you cannot avoid it, man.
Yeah.
Awesome. But okay, how do you get on your DJ name Deathmachine?
No massive reason, really. I just wanted to have a name where people would know what to expect, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I know from outside of the scene, it's very hard, dark music. Maybe, I know I don't play the hardest because there's Speakle guys playing way harder than me. But from a perception outside the scene, the music that I play is very hard. It's very dark. It's mechanical. It's futuristic.
Sure, it's mechanical. Yeah, your style is kind of.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah, your tracks is like machinery. Remember, you have really a lot of influence from the old Epithet style. Like
right, dark. That comes through still, does it? Yeah.
Dark and also, yeah. The same like who's told me Max Dead. Yeah. Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, your tracks. I like your tracks, but they had that crispy sound from Amiga. But I like the Amiga sound, but I use PC. But still, there's some kind of frequencies you will add into your production.
Yeah, I guess you don't realize, but subconsciously these things stay with you, don't they? And you manage to get them out in the music, and it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but you also your carry of all your music catalog. You also have you have the UK labels. There was like 2002, 2005, and then you stop over to the Third Movement labels, right? To make the crossover to Europe.
Yeah. So this was my kind of next step in the journey, I guess, was to release on Industrial Movement, which was the Third Movement sub-label. I think I did that EP after joining the Third Movement agency. I think, anyway. I'm just starting to forget these things. But
Please go fast.
I know, yeah. So I'd had a few gigs in Europe, And yeah, Sebastian called me up and kind of said, look, do you want to come and be on the agency? And I was like, yeah, that's great. And the first EP I did was for Industrial Movement, which was mainly slower stuff. And I think it's probably the first time I've done anything quite so slow as well. So again, it was all a bit more experimentation and trying to finding my sound and finding my way. And yeah, I did an EP on Third Movement after that, I think. And well, maybe a couple of EPs, and then that followed up with the album on Third Movement around 2013, I think that was.
Crazy. But the thing is, like, I agree now if that's 2020, and a lot of people like this slow industrial techno stuff, but that's actually the style what you guys doing like 12 years ago on Industrial Movement.
Yeah, well,
yes.
Yeah, it is. I mean,
yeah, but you see, it takes 10 years to evolve, man. Something. It's crazy.
Yeah, sometimes some ideas you have are not at the right time, and timing is a lot about success as well, and popularity. And if people aren't feeling things at that time collectively, then it's not going to kind of gather any momentum.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
that's good for music. You can keep evolving, man, and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, again, as we said earlier, I like a lot of different tempos and a lot of different styles in hardcore, and I always try and keep myself interested by making different tempos and different styles as well. So, as you know, I still make slow tracks, I still make fast tracks, and everything in between as well.
Yeah, man, my slowest track is 173, I think I made on the Industrial thing. Yeah,
right.
But it looked really like that EP, man. I did some techno style stuff, but I really should do it, but I always say I'm gonna do it, but that's already 12 years ago, how crazy things goes.
Yeah, you say you're gonna do things, and then you just being so busy, and then things come in the way. Yeah.
But in this COVID-19 era, you made a lot of music already, or?
Not as much as I'd liked, actually, because the job that I have has kind of taken over a little bit, and I'm actually working a bit even more than I would like.
You say 6 days a week, right?
Well, not 6 days a week, but I have had to work at weekends and evenings and nights and things like that. So it does kind of get in the way sometimes. But yeah, I've managed to get a little bit done. There's some remixes that I did at the start of the year. So
you did a good one for a label called Hong Kong Violence.
Yeah.
For a guy called D-Test.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm not sure how many people know about this yet, but
no, there's a guy in Rotterdam who called Thrasher. He plays always a lot, I haven't sent that guy, but he still had the remix. So it's crazy how things goes, man. But I will find out who did that, man.
Yeah.
Who hacked my hard drive? No, it's just joke. It's all good, man. It's safe. There's just joking stuff. But so at this point, like, what's up in the UK? To be honest, like, parties are still dead, you think?
Yeah, you mean kind of with COVID or pre?
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, with COVID, it's dead at the moment, and I can't kind of see anything changing in the foreseeable future. There's a few people hoping that maybe towards the end of the year that there's going to be a few things that can happen, but it's difficult, and things change from week to week as well. So we just got to keep going and just keep hoping that things are going to change soon.
Yeah, but this is the thing we cannot change. But I think you will be soon. Yeah, maybe this interview, it's already done. You will come to Rotterdam, right, to play a party, right?
Yeah, I'm coming over on the 8th of August, which I can't wait because it's been forever since it feels like I've had a gig. Obviously it's a small thing, and I know it's like a sit down party, but just being able to play for anyone is going to be nice.
Honestly, I try to release this podcast before that date, so when people hear this, it will be relevant, right?
Right, yeah.
So I try to make a date. We should make it, man. You're drinking beer, man. I have to get some drink actually, but I will make it. It's quite hot in this room, man. And there's a fucking mosquito right in my head now. Really?
Yeah, I just saw it. Yeah.
Really? You see it?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh no, I will kill him
Some
later,
spray
man.
or something.
Okay, but the other thing, we have to go back to a little bit to the history of Deathmachine. You have a long history with Oblivion, Species, that kind of, yeah, I think promoters in UK.
Yeah, Species was quite a big part of my kind of journey as well because yeah, that was one of the first clubs that I played at after starting DJing. So I ended up playing quite a lot there and ended up co-promoting it for a few years as well. So yeah, it was good years, good times. You know, the scene was still pretty good back then in the UK, and yeah, it was good to be a part of that.
And also, how do you know Joey T, Oblivion? Because you are part of the Oblivion team, right?
Yeah, I'm part of Oblivion. Yeah, I look after the label side of Oblivion, so I'm A&R and label manager, and do the mastering for all the releases and all that kind of thing. And yeah, I mean, I've known Joe for a long time, maybe 15 years. Met him just at parties, and started playing at Oblivion when there were some other guys involved that were doing the parties. And yeah, just known him for a long time.
Okay, cool, interesting. But you mentioned mastering. You do a lot of mastering also, right?
Yeah, that's something that I've done over the last few years. Mastering, as I say, for Oblivion and some other labels. I've done some mastering for Prospect, Industrial Strength, and just some, you know, mastering for artists before they kind of get signed. So they send me a track, I'll master it, and then they'll send it to the label. And it's a good thing. Yeah, I think it's again helped me to improve my skills because I can, you know, detect what needs to be fixed in a track and
All right.
and fix it. So it helps my music as well.
You don't steal the tracks, right? It's the best part.
Oh no, never done that.
I'm just making a joke, man. but recently, I know also you did a remix with a Furious guy in Spain.
Yeah.
How was that?
We did 2 tracks actually. Yeah.
How was that experience with Fury? Tell me.
It was good. Why?
Just
testing.
No, because I did also collab with him. Is it like you did a part and he did a part, or just you sent your part and he finished it? How was it?
No, we did a part. I think we went backwards and forwards a few times. So yeah, we just sent the Cubase projects back and forth, and yeah, it was like, I think we did them pretty quick.
All right.
Yeah, it was good though. It's good.
Man, I like them, man. I heard some bits of it. It's rude stuff, man.
Yeah. It was nice to work on stuff like that because, again, the good thing about collabs with people who are maybe a bit different style to yours is that you see things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You see things, you know, that you would never think of doing, and particularly, yeah, with Fury, that was kind of good in that respect because he does things that I'd never even dream of doing. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
He has some really crazy tactics.
Yeah.
You know, technical style things, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I think that's coming out on Prospect this year at some point.
Man, I'm waiting for that one, man.
Cool.
Those guys, man. That's. But also, what are you doing for Prospect then? You have secrets, or you're not revealed?
Well, there's some. I've done a remix. I don't know how secret that is. I don't know if you know.
But Garrett's placed still unreleased remix already on radios, man. So
yeah. I think he's already played it. So yeah, I did a remix for Somniac 1.
All right.
Which again, I don't know dates, but I think it's coming out in the next few months.
It's a fuck, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know things have all changed really with the schedule, but yeah, so there's that, and then there's well, let's just say I'm working on another big project.
Really?
For Prospect.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, this of course, man. It's one of the labels I would also. I'm also working on a Prospect release. I'm just nearly closing the second track, but yeah, it takes a long time, man.
Yeah,
I'm so
your
fucking
Death
slow.
Was cool. Your Death Chart release was cool.
Man, that took me fucking. Kobe asked me like 5-6 years ago already, but I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that chant, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, thanks, man. That's one I really liked. But it was released in February before this COVID-19 shit. So it's sadly I couldn't play on any parties, big parties, you know.
Oh, I had no chance. Oh man.
Oh, yeah, that was fun. I think that's really for everybody, like you, me, everybody. We don't have really big parties to play out the music. We just do it on fucking live streams and whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Just yeah.
but last 2 weeks ago, Garrett did the show, the evening in his Prospect in the Warm, and I think he played what is the track? You did a VIP version of it. It's really UK style. Man, I forgot the name.
Synapses.
Synapses.
Yeah.
See, Synapses.
Yeah.
I like that track, man. That is really organic. I call it organic. UK hardcore trance. It has some, you know, like I don't know, organic stuff on it. It keeps flowing.
It's got kind of more of a atmosphere that just kind of goes along rather than massive drop or anything. Yeah.
I like that because when you play it in the middle of the set, it gives you like that hypno drive style, like like with the kicks and the
Again, maybe that's the old French influence kind of.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I like that track, and I also like the remix you did for the Hard Way. I love that one.
Pentagram of Coke.
Man, you know, actually, maybe you heard it. I made my own VIP version of it, so it's directly go to the second drop, you know.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I've not heard that. You have to send it.
I have played on Ground Zero a couple years ago, and then Luke was also playing in the stage. He was dancing and shit, whatever. Cool. But I do a lot of VIP versions. Do you do that actually? People.
Yeah. I mean, I did some official VIPs that I released.
Not for yourself, just
2 years ago. Yeah. But for myself, I've got a few that I'll kind of shift around and drop into a set, so people they think they know the track, and then something else happens, and they're like, oh, like
I tell you, I VIP emotionless every track.
Yeah.
Imagine, even your tracks, because I made them shorter, whatever, and sometimes I like the intro a bit longer, so I repeat I add maybe 8 bars, I make 60 bars of it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Make it more interesting, so I don't have to use all this, all this fucking gadget on the decks,
Yeah.
Crazy. But okay, about the DJ stuff, what do you think about this when you're on parties and you see everybody's a DJ now these days, right? Everybody's a DJ actually. But what do you think about it? This shit or whatever? You regret that we are all in the digital area, or you say, it's different now?
What do you mean? You mean
like you see all those new kids DJing? Everybody can DJ now, right? What do you think about these developments?
I think the fact that everyone can DJ is neither here nor there. I guess it's if DJing's fun and people want to do it, then why shouldn't they do it? That's great. And I think a lot of people have that as a hobby now. And I guess the only difference is some people maybe think if they own decks and they've released one mix that they need to get booked at parties, and they expect to get booked at parties. I think that's where the kind of difference between expectation and reality is.
Because what do you think about this? I have to ask, it's this up-tempo kind of movement actually is really big in Holland. It's not about names, but just in general, what do you think about it? The music style.
Well, I don't particularly like the music style. I think it's been labelled as choose my words carefully here. It's been labelled as like a kind of shitty music and that kind of thing. And I've not necessarily got anything against the genre itself, but that being said, 99% of what I've heard, or 99.9% of what I've heard, is fucking terrible. And
okay, I agree with you. I think we think it's not shit, it's shitty produced. That's maybe where we really don't like about it.
Yeah, I mean, like my kind of mission, if you like, for hardcore is I want hardcore to be accepted as a good quality music.
Yes.
And I feel that up-tempo kind of spoils that perception. I think people who listen to up-tempo or some of these terrible up-tempo tracks, they just think, oh, hardcore's shit then. And for me, that's really sad because hardcore is so diverse and there's so much amazing music in the hardcore scene that this overloading of shitty up-tempo is kind of diminishing everything else.
No, that's a fair answer, because if even maybe up-tempo DJs hear this, whatever, is not attack. It just we talk about it. We just be fair, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to
And
say,
again, like I said, I've got nothing against the style itself. It's just a shame that there seems to be this perception of anyone can make it and be successful, and I think that's maybe made a lot of other people think, oh yeah, I can make some tempo and I'll be famous and I can play at all these parties, and it's just facilitated,
yeah.
hundreds of these terrible tracks coming out every month, and what is it actually for? I don't think the music says anything.
Yeah, but at what point I think it's interesting because I'm really in Holland. I see every parties. We have the different stages, up tempo stage and main stage. But the good thing sometimes I think is they match up the BPMs we like. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
yeah,
I remember when I first heard the phrase up tempo, and I was like, what? Up tempo? Is this like 200 BPM plus? We've been doing
yeah.
that for 20 years.
That's the
Yeah,
that's the thing. But it's a good thing. Like example, I reached the Dolphin track, the ping pong track,
yeah, yeah,
and it was picked up by really big DJs, mainstream DJs, a couple of them, That's really
yeah.
good, really funny.
Well, yeah. I mean, that was
So
great.
but there's some kind of points, yeah. But it's these days there is no, you cannot refine information because one track is hot for 1 week and there's another one already.
Yeah,
So it's but it's cool, man. But I have the same ideas. I think good music is good music. If people like it, yeah. What can we do about it? And we just keep on doing your own stuff, man. That's
yeah.
most
Again,
important.
you've got to, as an artist or a producer, you've just got to do what you want to do. Otherwise, I don't think you're an artist. If you're doing it to pander to trends, or if you're doing it to, make things for a specific reason,
Hmm.
that's not necessarily art, is it? I think art needs to come from you, it needs to be what you believe in and the sound that you want to do, and that's what I think every artist should do.
No, but that's true, man. Sometimes maybe people think it's too purist, because there's a difference between what you like and there's a different thing in entertainment world. I think a lot of people do. If you say I'm playing for music and I play every shit records, but people like it, fair, you do it well, man. This is also a good reason, right, to do it.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But for us,
yeah,
yeah,
everyone's kind of
stick
like,
to the nasty, difficult stuff, right?
yeah. I mean, I'm again, I'm lucky because I have a job. I've got the luxury of making, to a certain extent, what I want to make. So I don't have the pressure of, I've got to make all this stuff to get to get income.
That's the thing.
So
Good, man.
do have freedom from that point of view. Yeah, even though I don't have freedom from a time point of view.
Yeah, but it's good, man. I think this point is like we agree. If you make for the music, man, if you do, they have to do what you want. But if for the living, man, they'll go fucking do up tempo, man. Why
Yeah,
not?
yeah,
But now with this COVID-19, you can do shit anyway, man. So
yeah,
fuck.
exactly.
Okay. Other thing, I have a question for you
Yeah.
because I respect you as a DJ also. Do you think do you prepare these days for sets anymore, or just no, just compile tracks? You're not going to mix at home anymore, right? Practicing shit.
Yeah, I very rarely mix at home now. So if I've got a gig, then I'll put a load of tracks into a playlist. Um, Maybe for an hour set, I'll put maybe like 60 tracks into a track list
Okay.
of, enough of a BPM range that I'm considering playing, and then I'll just wing it. Yeah, I'll never play exactly this track, then that track, then this track. No.
Good. Awesome. Okay. Yeah. At every show, I do some at the end. Yeah. I I can ask you some questions and just you reply if you like it or not. If you don't like the question, just go on to the other one. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I start with the first one. Uh, Rebel Scum or Dead Chant?
Oh,
You can skip one question if you want to skip. We skip it directly. You want to
yeah.
skip it?
I'll skip that one.
I'll respect to Luke and Fish.
Yeah. Total respect to them both.
All right. Good man. Okay, but this will be a hard one, man. You cannot skip anymore.
Okay. All right.
Prospect or Third Movement?
Prospect.
All right. And what kind of reason? Just be fair.
Musical alignment. I think I fit way better with Prospect than I did with Third Movement. Third Movement was kind of more of a mainstream bias, whereas Prospect is, I feel, more kind of on a level in terms of acceptability with my music.
Yeah, no,
Prospect. Yeah.
if you would say third movement, I will cut this show directly, right?
Yeah, I know
But
that. You know, you'll never say third movement anyway.
no. In this stinky tofu experience, you can say every motherfucking thing. Okay, other question. Um, Tacos or stinky tofu?
I've not eaten tofu many times, you know.
Stinky tofu.
I'd have to try it.
No, you don't have it, man. You don't have it in the UK, man. So go for tacos. It's
I've
same.
only had tacos, so that's what I'm gonna have to go with that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, what's your favorite food? So you don't have a hobby beside the music, but you have a favorite food. You're not a food lover?
I love food, but I don't necessarily have like a particular favorite. I just love all food. So
Really? Not
yeah, I mean,
you have a special thing. Come on. When you're
yeah,
hungry,
I'm
you
not
say,
vegetarian, so I like steak. Yeah, like a good steak is really, really nice.
okay, you're not baptized by Garrett to be a vegan, right?
Not yet, no, no.
What the fuck is trash machine, man? It's like a bad machine, like it's a trash machine. So the
Trash.
name is fucked up, right? Garrett,
Well,
what the fuck is trash
uh,
machine?
trash machine is Trash's fault.
Really? Why it happened?
Trasher, yeah,
Oh, you made a mistake on the flyer. They mixed up
yeah,
your names. There
yeah.
was not no much spot for the flyer, so there's put trash and that.
I had to lose the H. Yeah.
No, that's cool. It's Johnny. But is trash machine still exist or is it buried?
No, it still exists. We still love playing sets together, and I'm sure we will in the future as well. So yeah, it'll happen. It'll
All
happen.
right. Okay, this is the other one. I want to know from you. When you're on an island, yeah, you just have to choose one program. What do you choose? Cubase or Ableton?
Ableton, I think.
Yeah, it has more complete things,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm quicker with Ableton as well. Get more
But
done.
but sound engine wise, what's better?
Well, I mean, I would have said Cubase a few years ago, but I think Ableton has improved quite a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's psychological, but I still think Cubase takes it.
I sneaky. We spoke about this before in parties or something else. I think I
Yeah,
heard you say about Cubase engine is so strong and shit, whatever.
yeah. I
Man,
mean, for all my tracks, I always master them in Cubase. So
yeah.
even if I write a track in Ableton, I'll always finish it in Cubase.
But how do you avoid this overload in Ableton? Do you also work with you with the gain controls? You like gain staging on Ableton? You think these days needed?
Well, yeah, I'm careful with gain staging and compression, limiting, all that kind of thing. That yeah, I've just got to the point now where I know where the edge of Ableton is. I know where the brink is, and I just work to that level.
Crazy, yeah, but it's kind of loud. What do you think about this loudness warish thing? Loudish.
It's interesting because I mean I still try and make my tracks as loud as possible. So I guess I'm part of the loudness war, or I'm supporting it, and I think it's eased off the last couple of years. Things have kind of got to a level now where things aren't getting way louder than the last year.
Yes.
But it's something that you still have to be really conscious of whenever you're making music, because it's kind of an accepted battle that you have.
Well, is it? Is it?
loud.
Yeah. I want to dig deep in this loudness more. You work also a lot with Frank and Well, right?
Yeah. I've obviously worked with them quite a lot in the last few years.
Did you learn a lot about this loudness war thing? How
Yeah,
they do that?
Yeah, I learned a hell of a lot, and yeah, the first Genosha 175 release that I had, Frank mastered the tracks and sent me the Cubase projects back that containing all the changes that he'd done. So
He's crazy, man.
I could see firsthand everything he did, and that opened my eyes to like shit, like
All right,
so much.
I have a question for you. Did he add on every kick a punch? Did he did that?
On the first EP, he did, yeah.
Yeah, he did the same with me.
And on the snare.
yeah, he's really on that. He's always like, Ken, you have to add every kick, you have to put a little bit punch. But that's crazy, man. Have you been in his studio in Goes, in Frank's studio?
Yeah, I've been there quite a few times. All the collabs that we did for Genosha, well, Genosha 175, all those we did in his studio, apart from neurosurgery, which we did in my house.
Right, amazing. Yeah, I was there one time. It really opened my eyes
Yeah,
because he actually did master it, prospect, custom grind, and extreme what we are. He did that.
right. Yeah,
I, I learned a lot about it, man.
yeah, yeah. I learned
But
mastering
it's
him.
not I learned a lot, but he gave me like, yeah, I'm on the right path. That's the feel. You have to,
Mm,
feel yourself. Yeah, I can do it.
yeah, yeah. I quite often throw ideas back at him. He's my kind of metric in terms of if he says
Yeah,
it's good, then I know it's good.
but to be honest, when I listen to your Genosha stuff, yeah, it sounds you fits perfectly in the Genosha world, right?
Yeah, well, for me, that was another thing that kind of really pushed me forwards in terms of feeling like coming into my sound, if you like. When I heard Crossbreed for the first time,
Yeah.
that was like even more like where the direction I wanted to go. And Genosha was, the best, in my opinion, the best label for Crossbreed. So releasing on that label and the main label Genosha as well, for me, are like ultimate achievements.
All right. So what is your ultimate achievement in parties? Do you have played every party already in Holland or in
Uh,
Europe?
I've played most, I think. I've done Masters of Hardcore, you know, Dominator, all the festivals.
Yeah, that one we have to talk about it. Dominator.
Yeah, yeah,
I was
yeah,
hoping you'd tell it, man.
yeah,
Man, it took me years. I had you already for years on the list, but I just only do once a year party. So yeah, sometimes
yeah,
I got you on the list and it was suddenly now he's not available and shit, wherever.
yeah.
But
Well, I mean, I'm so happy it worked out. It was
man,
last year. Yeah, it was
if
great.
we did it last year, I think it will be a big. I don't know when we can do it, right? But the funny thing is, he was playing, I was walking on, I hit you starting, and then I came back to get some drinks and came back, and then he was playing Home Confiners 20, I think Satan.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, man?
yeah. Well, I
But
made sure I played a special harder set for your,
yeah, but
yeah,
that's really I ask every artist, you can play a bit different than you normal do, man, because the people really want a little bit different. But
yeah.
awesome, man. Okay, back to the loudest one. I'm not gonna let you, escape with some answers. What
Okay.
How loud is the track you did with Fury? Did you get some loudness arguments or not arguments, but who decided was how loud you did go for those tracks?
Well, I think we kind of, we each started a track and they were pretty much the same loudness, I think. So I think we're talking around -3, -2.5 or something, which is pretty loud.
And
And
who mastered it at the end?
we both did, I think. I can't remember, but we didn't really go through we kind of mastered as we went along. So there wasn't like a situation where we were, right, the tracks are done, let's master them now. They were kind of mastered and, got loud enough as we were making the tracks.
Okay, but do you think this is needed to master? Because this is also a process. Like when you export it, I work with a guy called Fish. He doesn't fucking master. He says, yeah, when the export is done, and that amazes me a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, I, as I said, I always, for tracks that I'm working on, I'll maybe start them in Ableton and then extract separate stems to Cubase and finish the track off in Cubase.
Yeah.
So I'll use everything we printed to audio before I import it to Cubase, which means I can kill any like spurious reverb tails and delays and clicks. And
Yeah.
so I'll go through the project and make sure everything's as tight as it possibly can be. And I find I can maybe get an extra half dB going through that process.
Cubase is good in that. Cut
Yeah.
out your
So,
real out.
talking about the loudness war, that's one thing I do it may seem kind of overkill to do that, but I think you can get a little bit extra loudness out of that process.
But the Russian Devil guy, he made it last year, man. Fucking hell, man. And
Yeah,
he just using
he's killed it.
the Russian took it over, right?
Yeah, destroyed everyone.
But this is a really positive competition to get it same as. Do we use any reference tracks, or you just say no, I'm loud enough?
No, I do use reference tracks. Normally, some of my own or outside agency tracks are the things
Yeah.
I'm referenced by. So, because obviously like the way their tracks sound and they're loud, so I use those sometimes. Or my own tracks.
Okay, but I'm prepared for one of the last questions, but this is a hard one, man. Are you prepared?
Is it?
Are you ready? Ready?
Well, I'm a bit scared.
Okay.
Come on, hit me with it.
ID or hidden? Oh, there's a moment of silence, right?
Oh man.
I make it hard this time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you maybe can say both this time. You know, I will let you pass.
Yeah, it's got to be both. I mean,
Yeah,
everyone knows both are amazing. So
I'm terrible. I know. I do terrible questions.
Yeah.
People will be afraid about the questions I do in the shows, man. So maybe people will reject the shows because the questions are too terrible.
That was the killer question. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you silence, right? I hope Frank is listening on the well, and I'll try to get it on the show. Yeah, we have a couple of minutes left, man. Yeah, it was awesome. But do you have something to say to the audience? What can we expect? I thought it's a big project coming on Prospect. But
As I said, I can't say too much, but I'm working very hard on something. It's a big project on Prospect. Maybe you can guess. I think some of it's the best stuff I've ever done.
Okay. I know actually what it is, but he told me a couple of months ago already, I think.
Yeah. So, but apart from that, just like hope everyone's safe in this shitty period of time. Stay strong, everyone. See everyone at Prospect again soon, and we can get together and
party.
Yeah, party we need to.
I think your wife is also a party animal, right?
Yeah. she still likes partying. Yeah,
she's crazy than Deathmachine, right?
Yeah. I mean, luckily for me as well, she likes the music. So that again is like she's really supportive of me doing what I'm doing and putting all the time in that I put in.
Yeah, but I think she likes more outside Asian music. I heard she doesn't like Deathmachine.
Yeah.
So
she does, yeah.
That's your obsession, right? To convince your wife for the music is better than outside agency.
One day she'll listen to me instead of outside agency. Yeah.
Really? Well, what happened if your son's like, I don't like Deathmachine, I like more up tempo? What do you do then?
Well, maybe kick them out of home.
Really? Crazy, right? Oh my God. Okay, yeah, and yeah. For me, like, man, it's awesome, man. It's about in 1 hour we talk about a lot of things. Did I forget?
Yeah, it's gone quickly. That has really gone fast.
Oh, you of course, you did a track on Hong Kong violence. Do you remember which release it was?
Was it number 6?
8.
8. Damn. Yeah. Right. Yeah, Digital Warehouse.
Yeah. You see, I still have the CD you sent me, man.
Yeah. Cool. So, but yeah, I mean, we need to do something again.
Yeah. You know what my next question is?
Spoken about it.
Okay, where you finish all the stuff for the guy in Rotterdam, whatever, Prospect or that's, that label. But anyway, when you're ready, I'm ready, man. But honestly, I'm really slow. So Hong Kong Violence is still 20 years. And next month, Hong Kong Violence 21 will be out. And then Hong Kong Violence 22 with a remix from a guy from Birmingham called Stefan. Akira, Deathmachine, whatever. He did a remix, and he already sent the remix to other DJs, and even sent it to the label. But that's more fault of details, I think.
I think it is. Yeah,
I'm fucking joking.
I think it's his fault.
No, I'm just joking, man. Honestly, like, I'm fucking around with you. Okay, one question behind you: the diffusion, is it really works for the sound?
Well, I'm in a new room now. We moved house about a year ago, and I've gone from a big room to quite a small room, and I'm trying to control the high frequencies a little bit. So I bought some of these diffusers. I've got some more kind of in front of me as well and on the ceiling to just try and kill some of the horrible high frequencies. So I'm still, battling every day, trying to get my sound as good as it can be.
Yeah, this was actually the room of Bruce. But I had some isolation, but at the end, I like it so far. And at the end, if you don't have a professional studio, you have to deal with it, I think.
Yeah, you got to do as best you can in the situation you're in. Yeah, we can't all afford to have massive studios.
Okay, now I don't do the other question. The last question was enormous. But when you finish that project, what is your next step? You're not going to do slower techno, whatever?
Well, I've dabbled in it. I've written a few slower tracks as well. I've even some, as you know, Frank and Neil do Ghost in the Machine.
Yeah, because you're also the machine. That's why I'm asking. Why don't you the Death in the Machine or something like that.
Maybe I could, yeah.
I'm just fooling around with you to get your answers.
What I was going to say was Ghost of the Machine have played a few of my techno tracks that I've written. So I have written a few and they've played them out. So, you know.
You should call it Death in the Machine, I think, or not?
They could probably sue me for that.
Really? Why?
I'm copying.
But Frank is really tight with contracts. You know that?
Yeah.
When I met Frank, I think really a lot in the beginning days. He was, a friend of mine, and he came out of his house, and they all talk about contracts already, man.
Really?
Frank is really crazy about contracts, man. So if you have a problem, send to Frank.
Yeah, he'll sort it out.
Don't send tracks, send to Frank.
Send contracts.
Okay, Stefan, really awesome, man. It's really, really awesome. I will press stop because if it don't press stop, it will be for nothing, everything.
Okay, yeah.
The audio.
It's a pleasure, Kim. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man, it's awesome. We will process the audio and we put some background music on it. Rexor, Rexor?
Yeah.
He did also the jingles and stuff. And
I like the jingles. Yeah.
Man, he's janky. So yeah, he's good, man. So anyway, I press stop now. See you. Bye bye. Don't go away yet. I just press stop for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for everything. We keep talking. But I press stop now. I see it is done. I press stop. See you later.